There are 7 laws that are old as time itself. These laws are so ancient that they were existing even before science and religion was a thing. They govern energy, thoughts, and reality itself. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe in them or not, or whether you're aware of their existence or not, these laws are affecting you and working on you, even if you don't know of them. Yes, I am talking about the 7 Hermetic principles from the Kabbalion, the book of Kabbalion written by Hermes, an incarnation of the Egyptian god Thoth himself. Thoth is said to be the first wizard, magician, alchemist that is ever to have lived. He mastered transmuting energy and creating everything from nothing. He mastered alchemy, and he also lived in the underworlds working for death itself. So you can imagine how powerful these 7 Hermetic principles are, because they came from Thoth himself. So watch this video till the end, because I am going to be giving you an 8th principle which has been lost and kept secret for ages and ages and eons together. Because what? These principles are so powerful, it can change and shape and define your reality and completely shift your reality to something beautiful just by listening to this and knowing of them. So watch it till the end if you want to know the secret 8th Hermetic principle. Now, coming to the 7 Hermetic principles, the first one is mentalism, that says all is mind. The universe began with a thought. Everything started with a thought. Your thoughts hold more power than you realize. Everything that is ever to existed, every monument, every big building, every art, every piece of living art that is still existing, even if the artist is not, was created from imagination first and then brought into fruition into the 3D world. So the thoughts create everything that you see visibly. That is the law of mentalism. Everything is mind. And they say that even the universe came about because consciousness generated a thought. The second principle is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. That means heaven is on earth. If you can see heaven as earth, and if your mind is heavenly, everything that you see will also be heavenly. If you see the world to be as beautiful, if you observe something to be as immaculate, it is because that is within you as well. If you see someone and think they have a beautiful smile, beautiful aura, it's because you hold it within you as well. As within, so without. What is within you is always reflecting back to you and showing you as a mirror. That is the second law, as within, so without. And because we live in a holographic system and the world is a hologram, if you take the whole hologram and cut it into several pieces and take one piece of the hologram, you won't see the pieces as a puzzle. You will see the whole image in the piece. You will see the full ocean in the drop, and the drop is the whole ocean. So if you want to uncover the secrets of the universe, you don't have to go to space and explore space. Just explore your own body, your own mind, your own self. Know thyself. Because the macrocosm has everything that the microcosm has, and the microcosm has everything the macrocosm has. So you don't need to go anywhere outside of yourself to uncover the secrets and mysteries of the universe. That is the law of correspondence. The next law is the law of vibration. Law of vibration states that everything that you see in the universe is a vibrational frequency, energy. Nothing in the world is solid. Can you imagine that these things were known to humanity before thousands and thousands and thousands of years? Yes. They knew, the ancient beings knew that everything they saw was energy, and there was nothing as such as solidity. Nothing was solid. Everything was moving and vibrating in energy. Every living thing and non-living thing is just energy, and this was known. And they knew that energy will never come to an end. You cannot end something, you can only transform it and transmute it. This is alchemy, this is energy transmutation. And the law of vibration says that you cannot, when you die, you don't die, and that is not the end. You transcend this reality. That is death. Death is just transcendence to something greater and something higher. You are not over once you leave this physical body. And how do you transmute energy? You take all your pain, you take all your sorrow and transfer into something. Channel it through music, through art, through painting, through just being and nurturing yourself. Like channeling all that energy. If you think that just sitting in sorrow and not doing anything about it will let the sorrow go, no, it will stay in its same state until and unless you transmute it. So how do you transmute it? Go run, work out, channel that energy, dance, sing, paint creatively. Why do you think the most famous artists, well-known artists have done such great pieces of art and contributed to the world so much with their art? It's because there is something common with all of them. They've gone through so much in life, whether it's depression, anxiety, they've gone through all that and they channel that through their art. And that's how you transmute energy, by shifting it and changing it into something else. And the next law is the law of rhythm. Law of rhythm or law of duality? Let me check. Yeah, the next law is the law of polarity. The fourth law is the principle of the polarity. Polarity states that everything in the world is dual. There is always good, bad. There is always light, dark. Everything in this world has a dual nature to it. And because, just imagine, if there was no darkness, you wouldn't see the light. You wouldn't see the light illuminating. Just because there darkness exists, you can see the light. And that is duality. Just because you feel cold, you know the value of warmth. And this duality or polarity is what creates balance and creates existence itself. If there was no duality, everything would be just destruction. Sometimes lightning can also be blinding. Too much light can be blinding. Have you heard that phrase? Yes. So that is why you need darkness to bring balance. And balance is what creates life itself. So if there was no polarity in the world, there wouldn't be balance. And if there was no balance, there wouldn't be life itself. But everything is coming from the same consciousness. Whatever duality, polarity that we talk about is coming from the same source. It's one, but it have to become dual for life to exist itself. It teaches us balance. The fifth principle is the principle of rhythm. It is the ebb and flow of life, the highs and lows. What was once on top has to come down. What was once in the bottom has to come on top. That is the life. It is the pendulum. It is the pendulum goes as high and comes down. That is the rhythm of life itself. And you have to learn to navigate through the life. Actually, if you think about it, the consciousness has no highs and lows. It is just one state. The ego perceives the highs and lows and gets affected by the highs and lows. If you are high, the ego hits a high. If you are low, the ego takes the hit. But the consciousness, it doesn't affect the consciousness. And how to navigate this ebb and flow of life is through higher levels of consciousness. Example, the currents of the oceans are suddenly increased. And the boat on the ocean needs to have increased effort, increased acceleration for it to withstand the currents of the ocean and navigate through it and reach to the other side. Similarly, when there are lows, when there are uncertainties, when there are not so good situations in your life, what you need to do? It's easy when everything around you are happening and life is easy. It's easy for you to navigate through life as well and get everything done because there is no opposition, right? But when things suddenly crumble down, you can't function. Sometimes you cannot even get out of bed. So in those moments, you need to put in extra effort. You need to be extra resilient. You need to believe in yourself extra. And you need to tell yourself that I am doing this for myself no matter what. I don't let the circumstances decide what my life is going to look like, and I have the power to change this. And that courage, that resilience, that attitude will always allow you to get through the highs and lows easily and quickly. That is the law of rhythm. And with higher levels of consciousness and zest and resilience, you can get through any situation in your life. Just like the boat, pass through the currents as if it was nothing. The sixth principle is the principle of cause and effect. We learned this in principle, the cause and effect principle, the Newton's third law. Every action has an equal reaction, right? What if I told you that these laws existed before Newton was ever seen in the world, right? They are so ancient. And the cause and effect principle states that every cause has an effect. Every action has a reaction. So what is free will then? Free will has constraints too. You have free will within the boundaries of the natural laws. And once you try to cross the boundaries, obviously there are going to be huge consequences. For example, there is a boundary in the laws, like you destroying and causing destruction to planet Earth is going to cause you an equal reaction and effect. It is going to have consequences. You can't just keep destroying planet Earth in the name of development and not expect planet Earth, Mother Gaia, to react, right? The volcano must erupt someday. So there is free will, but within the boundaries of the natural law. But if you try to break the law and go outside the boundaries, of course, there are consequences. And we see that a lot these days. And the last one is gender. In all planes of reality, in all planes of existence, there is gender. There is a masculine and feminine aspect to everything. Like, we associate the moon with the feminine and the sun with the masculine, the right hemisphere with the feminine and the left hemisphere with the masculine, right? And I also recently learned that the subconscious mind is a feminine aspect and the conscious mind is actually a masculine aspect. So we see that there is a gender playing in all planes of existence, and there is gender that is playing a role, and you cannot debate on which is better and which is not, because if they both don't exist, life itself doesn't exist. So instead of always trying to compete with the other gender, I think we as humanity have to learn to work together as one, because without the other, one doesn't exist. We need both to create creation. And those are the 7 Homeric principles. But because I promised you all to give the 8th lost principle, I'm going to give it to you all now. So this principle has been lost for ages and now it is resurfacing because we all know it's really kept secretive for a reason, because it holds so much power and so much weight, and it holds the power to change lives. So the eighth principle is the generative principle. The term generative comes from Genesis. Genesis means to generate. Genesis means to nurture something, right? So the generative principle is associated with care and nurture, because if you don't care and nurture something, nothing in the life comes into existence. So care is a very fundamental thing in manifestation itself. So whatever you focus your attention to, your energy flows there. And why do you focus your attention on something? For example, you're thinking about a person so much every day, all day, non-stop. Why do you keep thinking about that person? Why are you giving your attention and energy to that person? It's because you care for that person. Why do you want to give attention to a plant? Because you care for the plant to grow and give you fruit, right? So that is why you nurture the plant. Why do you care for a baby? Why are you pouring in attention for an infant? Because you care for that person, you care for the baby, so you nurture it and care for the baby and place your attention on it. Why do you place attention? Because you care about something. And care means to generate, to create. You caring about something is creating something. You caring about a plant is creating the fruit. You caring about the baby is creating the future generation. You caring about a person is creating a relationship with them, right? So this aspect of care is what is needed for anything to manifest, because where you place your attention and where your focus goes, something grows there. So if you want to create a new reality, you need to first pay attention to what you care about. Do you care about something outside of yourself to make a great impact, or all you care about is something on the internet that doesn't hold value to you, but you still care about a person's appearance to comment negatively on that? Where do you place your attention and what do you care about? Do you care about yourself or do you care about somebody else? Do I care enough for me to sit here and create this video so it might add value to your life, so that I could build this channel and as well as create something valuable for the other person watching this? Do I care enough for you to create this and for myself, or not? It is because I care that I'm sitting here right now and speaking to you. And this care is what manifests things and generates and creates reality itself. If there is no care, you wouldn't care less about anything. You wouldn't care about anything. And if you don't care about anything, nothing grows, nothing changes, nothing evolves. So that is the generative principle, care. Where you focus your care, your attention goes, and where your attention goes, energy flows, and where energy is placed, it grows. And if you want to give birth to anything and create anything and nurture anything, you need to care about it enough to do it. Do you care about yourself enough to wake up in the morning and do the things that will benefit you and your future, or not? That is the principle, guys. That is the generative principle. It talks about care, nurture, and generating things. It is, if the heart is the care, the mind is the knowledge and intellect, and the body is the action. You need to care about it enough to think about it as a thought and act upon it. And when all these three things are in alignment, that is when the manifestation comes into place. This is so powerful, because with this you can manifest anything in your reality. These are the 8 natural laws of the universe according to the Hermeticism or the Hermetic principles. I hope this video helped you and gave you the courage to become the best version of yourself. And I hope this video helped you with your self-mastery journey and your manifestations, because you cannot manifest if you don't know the laws of the universe. And that is why it is the basic thing to do, to learn the secret laws of the universe. And these can be basic, but they hold so much power and so much depth and so much knowledge within them. Until next time, I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.